Hi guys, and welcome back to A Girl Talks Formula One. Today I have a very special guest for you with a particular sense of humor, if you ask me. Vid Vorsic, who is a Formula One photographer. He used to start in fashion and eventually transitioned to Formula One, having worked with the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. Ready to know more about him? In 3, 2, 1. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A Girl Talks Formula One. With you, your server, Manena, and on today's episode, I have for you a guest that has been through quite a journey, actually. He started his career in fashion and eventually transferred himself to Formula One. With you, I have Vid Vorsic. Hi, Vid. How are you?
Hey there.
So serious. Tell us, how did you start your career? What made you want to photograph for Formula One? Because you started with videos first, right? And then you eventually started getting a bit more into print and photography.
Yeah, actually, I started with video like 15 years ago, but it got a bit boring for me. So I found out that it's much harder to make a good photo than a good video. So this was like a challenge to me. So I started to switch slowly. I mean, I still do some video, but I prefer doing just photography. And Formula One, like I always loved Formula One since I was a kid. My father and uncle and everybody since I can remember. And I was never thinking about shooting F1 because it's
Top of tops. Yeah.
basically no high level motorsport.
Right.
Some stuff, but not on the level that I don't know other countries that have
Right.
MotoGP, Formula One, and I don't know World Championships earlier and stuff like that. So while I was living in Milano and shooting fashion, I got a call from my friends that run probably the biggest page about cars and motorsports in Slovenia, and they asked me if I want to go to Monza to see a Formula One race to shoot some photos. And at the time, I was living there, a no-brainer. I said yes. Then I got in with them. But when I got in, I just got this journalist accreditation.
Okay, right.
Stay in the paddock and shoot in the paddock. I couldn't go to the racetrack.
Yeah.
But since I got in the paddock, I said this is what I want to do because the working environment is it's something special. So
So
that's
true.
how it started. Yeah.
And how did you get started in fashion? Because for me, it's such a curious transition. I mean, fashion and then motorsports. I can actually relate with this because I love makeup and fashion, but I'm also doing this transition into motorsports. But for you, as a professional and a photographer, shooting models is so different than shooting moving cars. How did you get this transition and how did you cope into it?
I don't even know how I started this. Before that, I did some. I was working at an agency. We shot the president of Slovenia and stuff like that, and press stuff or other sports. Then I started to shoot. Actually, I started to shoot some of my friends. Like
Mm-hmm.
every nice people, somehow you can switch to fashion. And then one of my good friends, she actually won the supermodel in Slovenia or something like that.
Wow.
I don't know what the show. It's like next Tyra Banks or something like
Okay.
something this way. So I took some of her photos, and then somehow I have a lot. I mean, I always had a lot of friends. So
Mhm.
from underground punk scene up to high level fashion and everything. So
Right.
easy to find somebody to work with and do some photo shots and stuff like that. Then I got sick of Slovenia and I moved to Milan just for work. And then I was there for a while shooting some stuff. But actually, shooting fashion was totally boring for me because and then it's always like you come there, you wait for 2 hours to so they do makeup and stylings and everything is set. Then you shoot for 10, 15 minutes, then you wait again. It's just freaking boring. And if you mess up something, you can do it for 10 times.
Right.
If one, if you miss a moment,
And shooting Formula One is something that you find fun, not boring.
Formula One is yeah, it's awesome. I mean, no problems with keeping my mind in focus. Adrenaline helps. Or being under pressure, I start to live when there is a lot of pressure up my head. Yes, so
Okay.
Formula One
That's
is
nice to hear. I bet Formula One is a lot of pressure. I bet. And you've
yeah,
actually shot content for Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. Have you met any of the drivers in person?
yeah, sure, I did. I met Lewis couple of occasions. I mean, you meet them every race you go to.
Right.
Not this year because of the COVID. We are
In another section.
yeah. I sat down with Louis a few times and gave him some of my black and white photos. And with Daniel, yeah, we talk a lot also when we see us in the paddock or over Instagram or.
That's so nice. That's so nice. And do you have any anecdotes, any stories that you have with the drivers that you would like to share with us today? I'm sure everybody would love to listen.
Actually, I'm not sure if I can tell two of them.
Well, then don't tell those.
I don't know if it can hurt my job.
Come out to the public.
Actually, before I met Daniel, like in person, I was late for a podium shot. So I was working. Actually, I was working on the track with my friend from Greece, and then we were late because the shuttles were fucking up. Actually, I don't know how to say. The guy, I don't give a shit about a podium photo, so I'm going to have a coffee and like everybody gets a podium shot. So
right.
And then I went and saw that there is like one lap left. I said to myself, fuck it, I'm going to run. So I ran for like 500 meters. There's a lot of races I forget to eat and drink all day long.
Right.
I was just passing Daniel in full sprint with all of my gear, with lenses and everything. And I started to faint, like in full sprint. Actually, I didn't start to faint, but my legs just stopped to work. I got some cramps because
because you hadn't eaten, or because you were fanboying over Daniel, or both.
I at the track all day long in the sun, so
yeah.
So I smashed like in full sprint. I smashed with all of my gear, but I just continued to sprint because my legs started to work again. So I don't know if he remembers. I need to ask him one day if he remembers that correctly. The moment he didn't knew who I was.
And after that, now he knows.
Year after that.
Did he help you?
He didn't have any time to help because I just stand up and I just ran right away. I didn't notice. I was bleeding. I was shooting the podium. There's somebody came up to me and said, like, Vid, you're bleeding, you're leaking. And like I was all bloody. I just remember another one, but I forgot it now.
Another story that you can't tell.
After that, I was working a lot with one of the best friends of Lewis Hamilton, works with a lot of famous people and sports people and stuff like that. Actually, over him, I got to
Lewis.
Photos to Daniel. I was providing material to Lewis since 2016, I think. That was like 2 years. That was 2 years later, but I didn't know. So I was shooting him walking to the motorhome, and he just came up to me and like fist bumped me and said, "What's up, legend?" I just froze. Like, what the fuck was that? Then
hi.
And Daniel, the friend of Lewis, told me that he got him some of my shots, so he wanted to know who I was. So,
there you go.
I was just like, I froze. Like, what was that?
That's an amazing story. I mean, Daniel came up to you. He came to you. That's awesome. And I don't know if you can say this, but who is your favorite driver?
I loved Kimi since he came up to McLaren.
Kimi's awesome. I just love his personality. He has like a very strong personality and very straight, you know? If I want to do something, I'll do it. If I don't, I won't.
This is why I like him. Like, he takes no bullshit, and this is how it should be.
That's very true. In a way, I feel that Max Verstappen is kind of similar. Not the same, but kind of, I feel. Speaking of, maybe another tricky question, but okay, this season, the whole battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton has been strong. They've literally been on fire. Who do you think is going to win the championship? Do you think Max Verstappen can actually take that title away from Lewis Hamilton?
I was sure up until Silverstone, because Mercedes stopped the developments, started to put money into next year, but they came back swinging pretty hard. So now it's
pretty even. You know what? In my opinion, I feel Mercedes is a super strong team, obviously. But these two times that Max Verstappen has not won, it's because he's had issues with one of the Mercedes drivers, first with Lewis Hamilton, then with Valtteri Bottas. If not, I actually think he could have won the British Grand Prix and probably even Hungary. Don't you think?
I'm sure he wouldn't win the British Grand Prix.
Really? Why not? Tell us.
I know how Lewis's mindset works, so I think he wouldn't let it win. Like he would deliver, he would probably put like 70 qualifying laps just to make a statement. So crash or not, I think British GP Lewis would win. I'm not sure about the Hungarian GP, but Silverstone, I'm pretty sure there was not a chance.
Well, I like your honesty, and we'll see what happens in Spa. I really do hope he wins there, because even though I love Lewis Hamilton, I think it'd be so refreshing to see a new world champion, especially somebody so young as Max Verstappen. See somebody like him actually take away that title from someone as experienced as Lewis. I think that would give the world a roar, you know? Everybody would be so excited about that, I think.
But I think it's possible if I don't want to say too much, but I think if Max learns something out of that crash, I think
Yes.
then he can make a step in his not driving but mindset. For the last race, how Alonso and Hamilton were driving wheel to wheel, 10 laps on the
Yes.
limit, and it was all clean.
Yes. Hungary was an amazing race. Incredible. So the summer break couldn't have come at a better time because it's going to give Max some time to recharge, rethink, and analyze everything he's been probably doing wrong so that he can come back stronger, I think. And when did you start getting invested in Formula One? Like, when did you start watching it and becoming a fan of this category?
I don't remember. I was like 3, 4 years old because my father and uncle were always watching Formula One. I had these model cars, like small scale.
Yeah.
I think it was Williams from '86. At the time, I was 2 years old, but I remember.
Wow.
I remember this car so probably Slovenia used to be Yugoslavia, so we were like the Eastern Bloc. It might be that those toys came like a year later or something. That's so I should be some 4 years old maybe.
Oh, that's so sweet. You were literally a baby. So, my previous guest has a question for you. He's actually a driver for Indy Pro. And the question is the following.
Si a lo largo de los años cree que este año en particular sea un año en donde los coches sean con menos aerodinámica y menos sofisticados, sean más fácil de crear.
So that translated would be, do you think the car building next season will be easier, less aerodynamics, less sophisticated? What do you think of the car next season?
What I think of the car, or if it will be easier to produce it?
If it will be easier to produce.
Okay, yeah, I think for the base it is easier. But the teams to make it better, to find some gray areas. I mean, this is what the teams are best in Formula One.
Yeah.
And I think the rules are more strict, more defined, so it will be harder to find these areas to make the car faster than other cars. So
yeah, that's a good answer. And you, as a photographer, you have an eye for colors and for creativeness. In your opinion, which one has been the best livery of the season of 2021?
For photography,
Alpine, surely, for photography, right?
actually, I have problems. My style of photography is a bit dark.
Okay.
So I have a problem to get a good photo of the Mercedes since it's black.
Right, because it's a dark car.
Yeah, I absolutely love to shoot the McLaren one in
Nice.
the old school one, Golf colors.
That was oh my gosh, they should have left it like that the whole season. It was beautiful.
I think I made my new all-time favorite Formula
Yes,
One.
definitely. Definitely. I'm between that one and the Benetton one, the one that Michael Schumacher used to drive, the 7-Up. I love it. I don't know why, but I love it.
It's Jordan 93, right?
I don't know. I think it was the Benetton team, no?
I'm the Jordan one. The first one he tested, test driver in Spa. The
Could
Jordan.
be. The 7-Up, yeah. I don't know, but I feel that Formula One liveries have changed so much during the years. In the past, they were so creative. Nowadays are a bit more, I'm not going to say boring, because for me the Aston Martin livery is so sexy. Like the color is incredible, and that pink stripe just kind of adds that pop into the livery. But they're a lot less creative. They're just more simple, more elegant, let's say, but a bit more, yeah, boring, I think.
I also miss crazy liveries.
Yeah, definitely. There was a one, I don't remember the team, but it's the one with the snake that every single time they would recreate their livery, I had a snake on it, a yellow snake. Awesome, also.
Jordan,
Yeah,
also.
okay, there you go. There you go. Jordan had
Oh,
the best liveries, basically.
I
If
love
you
it, yeah.
if you could design your own livery, how would you do it? Such a tough question, I know, but I would love to know.
People that normally would just say like, this is the worst idea ever. If you get this guy to make a livery, like, and you put all of the money he can use to make something, it will be the most stupidest idea ever. But it will totally pop out, and everybody will probably like this. What the
Okay, I
fuck? But
want to
it's awesome.
know.
But it's hard to say how it would look like. But probably I would make something.
Something crazy.
There would be a message on the backside to
That'd be nice.
guys
That'd be
behind,
really nice.
something fun.
Yeah, of course. I don't know how I would do mine, but I know that I would put another diamond, like the Jaguar one, with that huge diamond it had on the front. Oh my gosh, that's also been from my favorite There's been so many crazy liveries that I've just loved. Red Bull with their Star Wars and their camouflage, and these kind of crazy liveries definitely need to come back to Formula One.
Yeah, I miss that also. Yeah,
I know, I know. I mean,
I didn't like the one they put on the next year's car.
amazing. The metallic.
I didn't like.
I love it. I
I,
love it.
it made the car look worse as it is.
Oh no, I love it. For me, Alfa Romeo should stay like that next season. Either you love it or you hate it. Some people went like crazy over the metallic, and other people go like, that's ugly. Anyway, the car looks so much
No,
smaller, that's for sure.
yeah. Hopefully, I think the car should get smaller because of their.
I know, and we'll see how it goes with so much regulations. And I mean, hopefully this would give the chance to other drivers to get to the podium and to have victories and to have many world champions. But I mean, only time will tell. What do you think about the 2022 regulations? Are you in favor, or how do you feel about them?
I don't like it. I don't want to Formula One to turn into IndyCar. And again, they should do something about do some better racing. But if you look past in Formula One, there has always been these years of domination of one team.
Yes.
It's basically, Formula One is making the best car to race it. I don't even like it now. Then when they need to use like 3 or 4 engines, I think it should be all flat out every lap, just to be on the limit all the time.
But don't you think this is happening more because of the pandemic to save money, let's say? This would make all teams to be equal, at least in that sense.
That was the plan for before the COVID. It was planned to make these cars for this year. So
okay, makes sense. Makes sense. And before we wrap up this interview, which I've been loving, by the way, you're just so upfront, and the stories you've told us are quite interesting. I have a question for you that I love to make to every single one of my guests. It's regarding W Series. So W Series is a relatively new category, which promotes women in motorsports, let's say. But in my opinion, this kind of makes it harder for women to reach Formula One because of the height it's taking. It's becoming as important as Formula One, but for women. Do you ever think women will be back into Formula One? Or do you think that's why they created W Series?
no, I think there will be another one in Formula 2 or Formula 3 or Formula 1. I think if there will be some really good talent to see, the sponsors will jump on it, because it's like make a first Formula 1 female driver. I think it will be a big money maker. So I think it wouldn't be a problem to get the funding. The series itself, yeah, I somehow agree with you. I love the series. I don't think it's right to like, let's make a series just for girls.
Right.
I think it takes away the weight.
It makes it a big segment, let's say.
love the series. I went around to see around the paddock and the drivers. It's like it's a nice asset to Formula One.
Yeah, definitely.
It
And
is.
they're so talented, the woman there.
It looks fresh and like
Yes, definitely.
and everything. I like it.
I've never seen a W Series race in person, and they're gonna have it in the Mexican Grand Prix. So that's one of the things I'm the most excited about, seeing the W Series, but like in person. So only time will tell. We'll see what happens. In your opinion, if one woman can make it to Formula One, she doesn't have to be in W Series. She can be, for example, Tatiana Calderon or Sofia Flores. Who would make it to Formula One, in your opinion?
I have no idea.
Jamie Chadwick, maybe?
I think if some team picks up a girl for their like development, I think this is the problem in Formula One. All of the drivers that come up to Formula One lately are just from the teams that are in Formula One.
Right.
Like that's cool. I miss the stuff like when Juan Pablo Montoya came out of IndyCar or from some other series that produce good racers. I
Right.
think I think it should be more open to bring people from other,
Definitely.
not
I
just.
mean, let's hope that happens to Pato O'Ward eventually. Him coming from IndyCar, or Nick DeVries coming from Formula E. That'd be awesome also, because Nick DeVries won the championship for Formula E this year. So that'd be
I
pretty cool.
think be more open to others. It became pretty corporate. So just we make our drivers since he's 15, we're putting money into him, so he will drive
Yes.
for us. I think it's not the right way.
That's true. I absolutely agree. And is there any social media that you would like for our listeners to follow you on?
Actually, I just have Instagram. I don't use anything else. I hate Twitter because it's full of toxic idiots.
Because it's boring.
I'm pretty saddened lately to see very Formula One fan base. God, so I don't even want to read the comments and everything. I use Instagram for my photography and to see
Right.
drivers, but
And tell us, which one is your Instagram?
Vid Vorsic photo is you spell it VORSICPHOTO, I think.
We think. Either way, I'll be linking that below. Thank you, Vid, so much for being on the podcast. It was such a fun talk, honestly. And thank you to everybody for listening to the whole interview. See you guys again in 2 weeks and another episode of A Girl Talks Formula One. Bye.
Thank you.